Hi everybody, today I'm going to be doing a video on, where are my notes? Here we go. 10 things you did not know about me. Now I've been seeing a whole bunch of people making this video on the 10 things they don't know about the person. So I thought I would do one too, since these tag videos are always so much fun. So let's get started. The first one is number 1. I used to be a ballet dancer. I know that is really, really hard for some people to think about, but when I was 3 years old, I started taking ballet classes through a private dance company in Appleton, Wisconsin. They're a professional dance company, and I didn't do tap, jazz, anything like that. My specialty was ballet. I was really, really good at it. I was extremely, extremely flexible. I don't know what happened. Don't ask. But anyway, when I was like 5 or 6, the instructor that I took ballet lessons from, she had family who lived in France, and they had a studio there, and every like 10 years they would send 3 of their top dancers to France to study there for a year and to take ballet dance lessons. And what they did was they took an overall view of the student. Then they also took measurements of actually how many inches long your arms were, how many inches your legs, your thighs, like your thigh from your hip bone, your torso, everything. And I know this sounds really, really weird because I am a BBW, big beautiful woman, but they said that my body matched perfectly to a ballet dancer. Now, if I had all my weight taken off of me, and you guys probably look at my bone structure, that might be true today. I don't know, but it's just something that you guys probably didn't know about me. So, the second thing, number 2, is I hate with a passion Ritz crackers. I get so sick when I smell Ritz crackers, when I see Ritz crackers, and even when I think about it, it makes me kind of nauseous, like right now. But there's like a backstory to that. When I was pregnant with my second daughter, I was actually working in the job that I'm working now, taking care of kids, and a little girl had brought some Ritz crackers in for a snack one of the days, and I had like severe morning sickness that day, and she was way on the other side of the room, and I could just smell the Ritz crackers, because you know, like when you're pregnant, your senses are heightened like 10 times, and I could smell the Ritz crackers, and all of a sudden I got extremely nauseous and I wanted to throw up. And ever since then, I have not been able to do anything with Ritz crackers. So, number 3. I used to be an extreme chronic nail biter. And when I mean extreme, I would bite my nails like all the way down, like to the core. It was really, really sick. And I stopped doing this like when all the cool nail designs started coming out, when it was popular to start painting your nails. I had false nails probably in my 20s and 30s on and off, just because I could not keep my nails. I would just get nervous and I would bite them all the time, and yeah, so, but not anymore. There they are. You can actually see the whites of my nails, which is like totally astonishing. Number 4. I have never been on a plane. Never, ever, ever. The 2 places that I really want to go are Hawaii and Alaska. I'll get there one day. But anyway, the only places that I have been out of the out of my state, which is Wisconsin, is Chicago, Illinois, and Minnesota. That's it. I haven't been anywhere else. It's really, really sad. But I want to travel. I just don't have like the funds to travel. So, and I have the anxiety about the plane, which I'll get into that in a little bit. But yeah, so I've never been on a plane before. Number 5. I have high anxiety disorder along with panic attacks, which is one of the problems, reasons why I don't want to be on a plane, is because I feel like I'm going to, number 1, get sick, my anxiety kicks in, and I feel like I'm going to have a panic attack. Now, with my panic attacks and my anxiety, this kind of all ties together. I was having really, really bad thyroid issues, and I didn't know I was having thyroid issues, and one of the symptoms towards that is anxiety panic disorder. I I remember when I had my first panic attack, I had taken my daughter to see the movie Elf in the theater, and I all of a sudden felt like the walls were closing in on me. I got super, super hot. I felt like I couldn't breathe. I felt like I was going to pass out. I felt like I was going to die. Like literally, I felt someone needs to call 911. I am going to die. Well, later on, we found out that it was a panic attack, which basically all tied in with my thyroid. But at the time, like this was maybe 2 years before that, we didn't know what it was. I was dealing with it for 2 years. I actually saw a therapist. I was in a group study because it got so bad. I would just turn like completely pale. I would get sick. I would got the flight response system, the flee and flight, where it's you feel so claustrophobic, like you have to just escape the situation. So I would just like feel like I couldn't breathe, so I'd have to run outside to actually feel like I was getting a good breath of air in. But thankfully, I'm not on any medication for it. The therapist was completely excellent and understanding, worked with me. I even had to go back to the theater because for a few years there, it was really, really hard for me. I couldn't even go to the movie theater because I had anxiety and fear about having anxiety and fear and panic in the theater. It was just a mess, but that's all better now. Number 6. I love to fish. I absolutely love fishing, and if I could, I would do it every day. I started fishing when I was younger with my dad, and that was just like kind of our time, and we would only catch sheephead. We'd never eat them. And then later on in my teenage years, I went fishing a lot, and in my 20s and 30s, I would take the kids fishing. I would take the kids and their friends fishing, and then it kind of slowly died down. But I do the worm and the hook, and I take the fish off the hook now and everything. So yeah, I love to fish. Number 7, I have had pneumonia over 5 times in my life. I have had meningitis, mumps, and the measles. I had meningitis when I was 5 years old. I remember being in the hospital over my birthday, and I was in the hospital for over a month. It was pretty serious. But obviously I'm here and I recovered. Number 8, I have had the same job my whole life. And I know that's kind of weird. I started working right when I graduated high school, so I was 17 years old, and I started working at the YMCA, and that is where I am now. I took about 4 years off in between having my second daughter, and when I started back up. So when I was about 6 months pregnant with my second daughter, I stopped working, and I took the 4 years off to be a stay-at-home mom, and then I went back to work. And I've had like second jobs in between there, but the YMCA, I have just stayed with them, and that's where I work today, and I have been, and I'm not going to tell you for how long, or you guys are going to figure out my age, which is not cool, which is not one of the numbers. Number 9, and this is kind of like, I'm not going to exaggerate in this, but I hate it. It's like my biggest pet peeve when people who are, and I don't want to offend anybody out there, who are Jesus freaks push Jesus and God on me. I feel like, and I'm not going to get into this, but I have my own beliefs. I do believe in a God. I don't probably believe in the God that everybody, the majority of the people out there in the world believe in. I do believe in a higher being, but it is very, very frustrating when I do not push my beliefs on anybody else, and somebody else will come into the picture and try to push their beliefs of God onto me, or try to get me to go to their church, or try to get me to follow their Bible. It's just very, very frustrating and very, very hard for me to understand why anybody would do that. So that is like my biggest pet peeve. And number 10, I used to lie about my age in grade school. And high school, I don't think I did, but junior high and grade school I did. I started kindergarten when I turned 4 years old. So everybody else was 5. I was the only 4-year-old. And some people didn't start kindergarten until they were like 5.5. So like just turning 6. And I wasn't even 5 yet. So I can remember all throughout grade school, people, you'd have your birthday party or whatever, or you have like your little celebration in school. I can remember when I switched schools from grade school to junior high, I can remember there was a board in the room and it stated everybody's, birthday and how old they were going to be. And I remember like some people were turning 12, some people were only turning 13, and I was just turning 11. And I told the teacher to put down that I was turning 12 because I didn't want anybody to know. Because I was so young and everybody else was so old and I didn't want to feel left out. And it was just weird. So, yeah. So those are 10 random facts about me. I hope you guys enjoy this video. Please comment, rate, and subscribe down below. And I tag every single one of you. I want to know 10 random facts about you guys as well. So thank you guys so much for watching and have a great day. Bye, guys.